Yo, we're back. Back on the grind, boys. Let's go. Let's do some aim training. How's everyone doing? So make sure to double tap your screens, like the stream. Let's get it. So I've been playing Face It lately, yeah, and yeah, it's been good. After the aim training, we've been playing really good. We've been ranking up, and hopefully I'll rank up today. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice seeing myself getting improved in the game after we do this aim training sessions. So these training sessions are they're time consuming, but they're fruitful. I'm also thinking we shouldn't do it every day. Maybe we can do it like on alternate days with a break in between. It's gonna be much more productive for me to, manage work, and play the game, play more pubs, Also, let me know what you guys think about the aim training, and also share your warm-up routines with me so I can try them as well. Let's go one more. One more. So what we're doing right now is Coax. It's called Coax, right? It's just like aim labs, and once you start this, it's 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 actually paid. So if you guys have like $7 on your Steam account, you can get it, or just wait for the sale. Once the sale is live, you can get it done. Yeah. You can buy it. You can ask me for the playlist. If you wanna, if you want the playlist, you need to join my Discord, and I'll share it with you there. Without down the Discord for you guys. Make sure to join it, and also like the stream, please. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right, we're back. Let's go. Exercise number 2. This is for micros. So the whole playlist here is just for micros. Thank you for liking. We have 20 people watching right now. You guys can like the stream or go up. Let's get it, boys. Liking is free. Subscribing is free. So help me out, boys. You guys are awesome. Let's go. 32 people. Like the stream, boys. Double tap your screens. It's completely free. You support a small streamer. It goes on to doing something good for the community. That's growth, bro. That's growth. Let's go. Let's get it. Like and subscribe. You guys are awesome for watching. My arm kind of hurt now. Try not to track abruptly left to right. Smooth the movement out and go fast and slow. Yeah, I mean, I just I just changed the sensitivity recently, so I'm just trying to like get used to it. It's been really good in the game, but I need to like I need more hours with this sensitivity. That's why I'm like doing Coax. Thank you for the tip, bro. Also, welcome to the stream. All right, we're doing control sphere far right now, and I think my mouse pad is worn out now. I need to change it, but like I just feel like it has more friction. Do you think like I should change it or like get it washed? It feels rougher now. So I went from 0.52 to 2.3 since. So with 0.52 I had 1000 DPI, now I have 400 DPI with 2.3, right? So that's a huge difference. That's like 280 DPI difference. It's still working. I got really good shots. I didn't think the drastic change would like make me improve so much, but I've heard that if you like jump to lower to higher abruptly and your raw aim is good, you will be playing really good. So the first day I hit like really good shots, and then in the following games I was like hitting 4Ks, aces. So the high sense works for me. Now I just want to work on the micros. Yeah. So the micros will help me get more headshots and stuff. Because the tracking with high sense, it is a struggle at first. But then you get used to it once you do these aim trainings. That's why I like to do the focus aim training sessions. Because I don't want to do everything, because I'll give you an example. My counter strafing is pretty good, right? So I have like 88, 90% counter strafing in every game. Then the spray is pretty good. It's decent, right? But micros and tracking and these things, they sort of get worried when you change your sensitivity. So I'm just relying on the spray and crosshair placement right now. I just want to have a better micro and head accuracy. Still have 30 people watching right now. Can you guys like the stream, please? You guys are awesome. I know you guys can do it. If you guys double tap your screens, it will automatically like the stream, and it will help the algorithm push my streams more. So we're just like a few streams away from getting monetized as well, so just help a brother out, man. Let's go. Also, I'm giving away like some extra stickers in CS. They're just paper stickers from Paris. So if you guys want some stickers, just let me know. Drop in your Twitter link and I'll send it to you for free. There's no giveaway. It's just I'm just getting rid of them, and you guys can use them on your weapons and stuff. So. I really appreciate chat helping me with the exercises. Last time we did it, the chat helped me with KZ as well, so you guys are awesome. It's really good having that positive community around you where people are helping you instead of criticizing. Because once you start trying to get better, people start like hating on you. So shouldn't be hate. Also, anyone that has been higher level than me, like level 10s and 3k elo players, they have always been positive to me. Because obviously they want me to get better. Also, isn't it too hard? Like too hot nowadays? Like it's the end of September and it's still hot. What the hell? Alright, with this one, I'll just go really slow because I need to track. We don't have to like go fast on this one. Thank you for liking, boys. Like and subscribe, please, and join my Discord. I need to grow this community. Let's play Refrag after this. Uh, I don't know, bro. The V model, I didn't see any settings for this. Let me see. Let me check after this exercise. Maybe we can do it right now. What's the V model? The FOV is like counterstrike, right? The sensitivity is CSGO. The V model is the same, bro. Just as counterstrike, but specifics, I don't know. Weapons. No. I mean, it's the same as Counter-Strike, bro. Okay, double dash micro. Let's go. Okay, so let's go. We have 100 people watching right now. Can you guys like the stream? Let's go. Can we get to 50 likes, please? Like the stream if you're a good person. Like the stream if you're good at CS. Also like the stream if you're a silver. I mean, like the stream if you have around 5k elo premier in CS. And like the stream if you have 10k elo. Like the stream if you have 15k. Let's go. Let's do it. Man. Mm-hmm. All right. We got 2 exercises left. Pokeball Micro 2 and 5 sphere hipfire, which are fairly easier. And my arm hurts. Let's do it. That's one. Yours, how's it going, brother? This is Coax. GG's, Red Sky. Neon Rider, really good. It's called wait, Coax. It's just like Aim Labs. What's up, how's it going, brother? We're doing the last exercise. Uh, Nice. Are you sending it to me, dude? Red Sky. Okay, let's boot up CS2, yeah? Let's play some Refrag and stuff. Also need to check some Insta smokes. I think they changed some Insta ones. But I can't really hit my Insta window smokes anymore. Like some of them. I have to check. The game's loading up right now. Alright, Red Sky. See you, bro. Make sure to like the stream, boys. Yo, man, how's it going? Go CSstars.gg, brother. CSstars.gg. No problem, bro. I have 2.3, 400 DPI, bro. 400 DPI with 2.3. I need to update my commands. I didn't like mention it there. Maybe it's like the old one. I need to update my view model as well. See, view model, right? 2.5, 0.0, 1.5. I took a screenshot. I'll just update it. Let's do one more cycle for spray. This one's the best. Still need to warm up. Forgot. We turn off the impact. Once we turn off the impact, we can start doing this. Oh, also forgot this. Okay, let's do like 4 and then move up to 5. Currently we're at 3. Yeah. Okay. That's 4. 4. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Okay. We're moving up. That was 5. Okay. Let's do like refrag. Double tap your screens, boys. Like the stream. Blitz mode. Let's do blitz mode on refrag. Okay. do it. Thank you for liking. Make sure to like and subscribe, boys. I typed it down, bro. It's CS stats server. This is X-Fire mode on Refrag, right? Damn. This is Refrag, dude. Mm-hmm. Madman, why would a silver like you come in here, dude? Get out of here. So one downside of this server server is like Refrag is that we don't have any servers on Middle East. That's why we have like 100 ping here. It's a server, dude. See, it's not connecting. What the fuck? Just like, where are we looking? Where are the bots? What the fuck? Anyway, let's just play Blitz, dude. If you were 3500, bro, you would never ever comment like that, dude. You would help me. The fuck? Weird ass. 3500, my ass. Get out. No, it's not face it, dude. It's like refrag. How do I explain? It's just refrag. It has like modes on normal servers, and you need to boot them up on the website after getting the subscription. I have like 3 months subscription here. That's why I can play. Yeah. Oh, I get it, bro. You were 3500 on Premier, right? You fucking bot. Stop rage baiting and get the fuck out of my chat before I ban you. Piece of shit. Okay. It's Refrag, dude. Refrag.gg. He's up. Yeah, it's Mirage, dude. Yeah, soon, brother. Such a dangerous one off angle, dude. See that? What knife do you like, Red Sky? What kind of knife? So my food is here. What I'll do is just eat. You guys think we should watch something on YouTube? Let's watch something.
Most players focus on aim and mechanics, but if your movement sucks in CS2, you're missing.
Shout out to Louis CS2. We're watching Louis CS2. So the video is why your movement sucks in CS2 and how to fix it. And I've been a really big advocate of improving your movement after I did some sessions with some of the experts in the game, and they taught me the window smoke, no, sorry, the window to short jump, and some other mechanics in movement. Even in our last stream, we worked on the KZ. It was really awesome. You guys helped me with everything. So let's just watch.
Seeing a massive key to winning rounds. Today I'm breaking down the top 10 tips that will fix your movement and completely change how you play. I'm Louis, and in this video we'll cover everything from mastering counter strafing and AD peeking to bunny hopping for faster rotations. You'll learn when to walk silently, why crouching can save your life, and how perfect jumping techniques keep you unpredictable. We'll dive into training on KZ and aim maps, how to practice movement in deathmatch, and the pro tips you can steal by watching demos. Timestamps are below so you can skip ahead or revisit any tip that you like. So the first thing you need to understand is how to counter strafe. Now you can see that I have my velocity right below my webcam. You're going to see that if I strafe to the left, it takes a while for my velocity to decrease, or I can actually be accurate with my gun. So in order for me to counter this, I just have to counter strafe. So if I'm holding the A key, as soon as I let go of the A key, I have to immediately tap the D key, and you'll notice how my speed goes instant. And when I strafe to the right, I just want to tap my A key as well. And you can see how fast the velocity actually goes down on a really good counter strafe. Now what a lot of people do make the mistake of when they're counter strafing is they almost do this little drift. So instead of just tapping their counter strafe key, they actually hold the opposite one down for too long. And you can see by the velocity, if I do this with a little glide instead of just tapping the key, my velocity still doesn't slow down far enough. So when you are practicing or learning how to counter strafe, you simply just want to make sure that you're letting go of that key and then tapping the opposite key instant, and your velocity will instantly snap to 0, just like you see it on my screen. Now also a little tip when it comes to counter strafing, a lot of people think that your accuracy is going to be 100% when you're not moving. Now while this is true, but if you guys think about when you're holding down crouch, I can sit here and just shoot down range and have really good accuracy while I'm still moving. And you're going to see that my velocity when I am crouching like this and moving is 73.10. Now what this means is that when you guys are learning to counter strafe, you don't have to immediately wait for this velocity to be 0. As soon as you start pressing your counter strafe key, you're able to have 100% accuracy because you're slowing down fast enough to get around that 73 and below range that you will be accurate. So a lot of people think that when you're trying to clear angles, you have to wait till you're totally done moving, but that isn't the case, especially inside of CS2. So the next time when you are trying to clear angles, don't wait until you're perfectly stopped or you can just get opped by somebody. If you want to get the illusion that you are running and shooting, you want to start shooting as soon as you're pressing that strafe key, so you have that really good accuracy and that fast counter strafing time. Now if you notice that you peek a lot and instantly die because you feel like you're too slow, there's actually a little trick that we can do to make your velocity as fast as possible when you are peeking an angle. Now in order to do this trick, it's very easy, but it is kind of habit forming. So when you do start to do this, you want to make sure that you're practicing it a lot. And what you want to do is simply just spam your A and D keys like this, your left and right movement keys, and then swing out. Because if I was sitting right here behind this door, you can see that I am about 180 velocity when I'm peeking this angle. But if I sit here an 80 peak, you can see that I was 200 velocity when I'm swinging, and I even travel faster when I'm trying to counter strafe, which means anyone playing on this side of the door is going to see me very quickly if I do abuse that mechanic. Now another way that you can do this, if maybe you're not too fast with your fingers because you're very inexperienced with women, something that you can do is just strafe to the left or the opposite and then strafe out, because this creates just a longer strafe where essentially you're starting about right here. But a lot of people do like to sit on walls when they're about to entry. So if you just do a little strafe in the opposite direction then swing, you can see that I'm hitting about 215 when I'm peeking this angle, which is the fastest velocity that you can run in the game with a weapon out. So abusing these tricks can be very helpful, even like over here towards ramp. Maybe you're in a 1v1 situation and you want to peek this guy, but you want to make sure that you're not slow. If I'm trying to peek here, I'm getting about 190 if he is holding me cat. But if I do the little AD trick and then swing, I'm 200 now trying to peek this guy, and I have the advantage in this fight just because of the peeker's advantage, and I'm essentially just winding up my peak just so I can hit this guy with a really fast wide swing. Now before I get into the next tip, let me tell you about SkinsMonkey. Is a CS2 skins trading site marketplace that provides an instant way to get during this video. Now if you think that your counter strafing is good, something that you're going to be missing inside of your own game is making certain skill jumps. Like a good example is if you are a cat, a connector, or a window player on Mirage, if you're not able to make the cat jump or jumping into ladder room by jumping on the window to the bricks and then into ladder, you are just holding yourself back because these are going to give you timings and really good upper hands in duels. So if you are someone that is good with movement and you don't know how to do skill jumps, you're just holding yourself back. Another example of a good skill jump you could use too that that might seem very easy, but a lot of players can't do, is literally just jumping on top of default to get into Palace to take a timing on anyone trying to lurk into Palace, because getting this map control is very good, and if you already have good mechanical aim and counter strafing, you should be able to win this duel just by making this jump. And it's the same thing over here towards B as well, where if you're able to just jump on this van ledge to get onto Balk, you can simply just run up here, hit a nice counter strafe, kill anyone in underpass, and then just simply run away, making the round a 5v4. So if you don't know how to do these jumps, even like the one on Ancient where you're jumping onto Cat, you guys want to make sure you guys go and practice those, because that's going to give you more opportunities to actually use your mechanics in game. Now, something that you guys should be doing is abusing crouch, and I don't mean by just swinging out and holding, committing down to crouch. You guys want to use it to make yourself a harder target to hit, and also to control your recoil a lot easier, because if you swing out Cat like this and someone's also swinging, chances are this T that's swinging isn't going to be moving his crosshair. He's going to be aiming at head level and then just simply hit an easy kill, because he's going to have that nice peeker's advantage onto you. But in order to be a harder target for this guy swinging mid, is that when you're sitting here just ADing like this, as soon as you see him, you just start shooting and tap crouch, and this is going to make you a very hard target, because when he's swinging, he's going to see you, and as soon as you start crouching, he's already shooting up here. He's going to have to pull down extra hard, which gives you at least less than half a second to be able to adjust to kill him if he did swing past your crosshair. Is that you can see that when I hold down mouse button with an A1S, my bullets go directly up, and I don't really have many bullets sitting around my crosshair. But if you tap crouch as soon as you start shooting, you're going to see how these bullets are more lined up where a head level or a neck level would be in a player. So simply just tapping crouch isn't going to make you a harder target to hit. It's also going to help you control recoil, so you don't really have to pull down as much, and you can focus more on your movement and crosshair placement. Now, if you want to know how to practice counter strafing, there's a few drills that are very simple that you can do inside of your favorite workshop map. I'm choosing the GG Predict training hub to use because this is one of my favorite maps to just kind of shoot bots in. And if you guys want to just practice your counter strafing, it's as easy as putting your crosshair on a bot, strafing, and then just counter strafing and killing. And you can just do this at your own pace, as slow as you want, where you're simply just aiming at a bot and just hitting your counter strafe keys. Now, this is also going to help you practice your crosshair placement, but you're more focused on your movement rather than really aiming at the bot. So even if you counter strafe and then maybe you're off a little bit, but you notice your bullet does go right down the middle of your crosshair, that means that you are counter strafing correctly, and you are doing the drill correctly, because obviously your counter strafes are hitting. Now, once you get more advanced with this, something that you can do is just start to strafe around like this, where you're just hitting your counter strafe key and pretty much shooting at the same time, because we're aiming for that 73 velocity mark. So as soon as I'm tapping my counter strafe key, I'm already shooting, and I'm just strafing back and forth. This is going to help you with quickness inside a game, because a lot of people are just sitting here just hitting AD holding angles, which is something you guys should be doing. It's also going to get you in the habit of just tapping as well. If you do have a tapping aim style, this is something that will definitely help you and get more comfortable with those shorter strafes or those longer strafes where you kind of get caught in those awkward positions in your fights. Now, if you are someone that doesn't really like to tap, you can also incorporate bursting or spraying in this as well, where you're just looking on a target, you counter strafe and burst, and then just switch off. Now, when you are doing this, what you want to really focus on is making sure that you're having a wide enough strafe so you can practice your counter strafing, because if you're just sitting here going like this, just doing these little movements, it's very hard to focus on your movement altogether. So you want to make sure that you are hitting those big strafes when you are flicking to another target. And then once you practice this a lot, this will really help your counter strafing, and it will elevate your movement, and you can even incorporate this in your training or especially your warm-up routine. Now, one of the best ways to practice movement is pre-fire maps, because pre-fire maps are going to build a habit into your brain where you should be stopping to actually shoot. Now, a lot of people say that crosshair placement is muscle memory because you're recognizing where common positions are on the map, and you can see that all these bots are in very common positions where CTs might play. But if you can memorize where these CTs are playing, not only will you have good crosshair placement on anyone playing somewhere like close ramp, but you will also have muscle memory of counter strafing in these positions as well. So when you are trying to clear out ramp, maybe in a late round you think they took it, you can simply just clear angles with the muscle memory that you know someone might be playing in these positions. Like someone over here on stairs, a lot of people love to hold this with an op or even a deagle. Now, if I had good crosshair placement, I could probably just swing out and then have my crosshair on his head. But if I have bad counter strafing or not even muscle memory of this angle, chances are he's going to kill me, because I'm not going to stop where I need to be stopping. So if I can remember these common positions, I can peek these angles with confidence and be able to just one tap people, because I'm already in the process of counter strafing when I'm clearing out these common positions. So not only do you want to think of crosshair placement when you're playing pre-fire maps, but really focus on your movement where you know people might be playing. So then when you're entering out onto site, you can simply just one tap opponents like this, because you're in the habit of stopping where you know a player might be, instead of just thinking, oh, I need to put my crosshair here because I think he's here. player, you need to be ready to stop and imagine that the player is playing in these positions. So then when you are forced to come out here and clear out sight and clear out all these opponents, not only do you know that they are here, you're also already in the habit of stopping while you're also subconsciously aiming with your crosshair. Your CT side on Dust 2 is holding you back, but don't worry, I'm here to fix that. Today we're breaking down the essentials of dominating Dust 2 with a clear, proven setup that will have you controlling key areas and winning more rounds. I'm Louis, and in this video, I'll walk you through the standard CT roles and common setups that explain exactly what each player's job is, from the long anchor to the opper. Timestamps are in the description, so you can jump to whatever you need. Ready to stop getting overwhelmed on Dust 2 and start locking down CT side? Let's get into it. So the basic setup that we will see on Dust 2 is always having a deady long player. So what's going to happen most of the time is your A support player or your opper is going to always need flashes to pretty much take control of this space by either smoking door, mauling blue, and that pretty much sets up 3 people towards the A side. And then you also have your mid player who is crossing over to be the B support player, where this guy's like trying to get info mid by breaking mid door smoke, or maybe he's even flashing over doors like this for anyone on cat. And then ultimately you have your B side player. Now a lot of you guys probably play Dust 2 off of spawns, and you can actually play it however you want, but the first role we're going to go over is the A long player. So if you do play it by spawn, it's the guy with the closest spawn here. And the way that you want to start this round is very specific. There's 2 ways that you can start this, but ultimately you never really want an HE grenade unless you think that anyone's staying over here inside of house that much. You want to be dropping the HE grenade in spawn for the rotator to use it for the mid to B smoke. And this also helps you have 2 flashes, so you can drop a flash for anyone that's flashing you for long. Now if you have the long spawn, which is the farthest right spawn, where you throw a running molly across that's going to land inside the door. So once you have that, your goal is to cross into pit with the flashes. Now the reason why you want to be inside a pit is because you want to be able to play off of this wall right here. So if they do want to pop late long, or maybe they are going out long, you have cover, and instead of being stuck in the open just trying to spam while being blind, this is the optimal place you want to be. Now something that I like to do once I have a long control is I like to play on this shadow. And the reason this shadow is very good is because a lot of people like to throw this late flash here where they flash through the doors to take late long, but this spot on the shadow, it actually counters this take from the T. So if they do want to try to take late long by flashing through the doors, that is the best spot to play, because when they're coming out long, they're going to look at corner, they're going to look at this pit angle, and they're going to be pre-aiming anything over here, and you're going to at least catch 1 kill, and then you can drop the pit. Now once you do have long, what is very important to note as the player that's pretty much anchoring towards long is to keep your smoke as long as possible, because what you can do is drop into pit, aim at this window, and re-smoke door, and this is going to block anyone trying to lurk late long, because a lot of times there's always 1 player sitting around here. It's also going to buy you time. Now if you do keep your smoke long enough where you don't even feel like you need to smoke doors, what's important here is if you're playing this shadow angle, if someone decides to swing out long and you get a kill, you can drop and then just throw your smoke like this. This is what you would call a disruptive smoke, because anyone coming out long that's trying to fight you now is like, holy smokes, he can be in pit behind the smoke, he could be on this edge, and now they're stuck on this corner, because if you have a good setup, which we'll talk about later, they're going to be afraid of someone killing them from sight or spawn. So this smoke just totally disrupts what they're trying to do if they do decide to go late long. So now we're going to be talking about the second spawn here, which is your second long player, and this is the player that's going to help facilitate this A long anchor pretty much getting in a good position. So at the start of the round when you're coming up, you can drop a flash if you want, but this player is already going to have 3, which most of the time may be your opper, so you can pretty much keep your flashes. But I think it is also important to note that you want to also drop an HE, just because the rotator needs to be able to have these extra HEs to break these mid to B smokes. So as a second long player, what you want to really focus on is trying to molly blue, because your player here is going to be trying to cross if he is going to molly inside of house. So in order to molly blue, you just want to aim off of this wall here. So anyone going out long will be stuck in this molly and be forced to swing. And this is where this kind of team play comes into play, because if your teammate crosses into pit and your long flasher has extra flashes, this is going to prompt him to flash again, and you guys can swing and fight. Now once you have this space, you know, maybe long doors smoke from spawn, or maybe you want to make sure that you're using your smoke before you leave, because you want your A long anchor to keep his smoke. So you'll just throw a smoke into long house like this, and then this will let you leave over here towards site. Now, what's important to know is the movement after this is very important, because a lot of people like to play over here towards game helper, but this is really bad if you do have a rifle. You want to make sure that this would be an opper. So it really depends on what setup you're doing, but we're just going to hypothetically say that I am a rifler going towards long and my opper was the one that's flashing. Now, this movement is important because there's a lot of things that you can do after you do have long as a second long player, where you can come to ramp. This is a really good position if your long player does have flashes. He still has his smoke to smoke door. So if they come up cat, you can just flash behind you and you can just come here and try to get as many kills as you want. And then you can pretty much just tuck here on the ramp. Now, this is good because if this guy is in pit, you guys now have this high-low setup where you're both fighting people that are trying to swing your player here in ramp. And then if someone is late long lurk, your A long anchor can just take care of him eventually once this fight starts to happen. Now, if you decide that maybe, you know, we do have long, the next option that you can do is go play for cat. So after you do have it, you guys can come up over here towards cat and just play for this area of the map, because with process of elimination, you know that they're not long. They obviously have to play over here towards this area of the map. Chances are they're going to be taking cat, they're going to be taking lower. So you guys can run a really good setup where your opper is sitting here on this ledge, just scoped in on anyone trying to swing, and then you're just on this wall playing anti. So then when the flash does come in where the T's want to take cat, you can just turn and get your free kills. Your opper can tuck because he's probably going to be full blind, and then he can re-peek and try to kill anyone that is obviously trying to trade their teammates swinging from cat. Now, the other option that you have as well is if you want to go play for mid, where your opper can play towards game helper, where you guys can hold long and play for long. You pretty much give cat and you can come over here towards mid. So this gives options for your mid player to help towards B, and you also have a few HEs in spawn. So if they do decide to go mid to B, you can sit here and break. Your mid player can flash you through the mid to B smoke, where if you want to come through and try to fight this and just be really disruptive and maybe force them to go up cat into your opper, you want to make sure that you're not overextending this line here as the second A player, because your role is pretty much just trying to move and predict what is happening inside of the round. Now, before I get into the next tip, let me tell you about SkinsMonkey. Is a CS2 skins trading site marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. The favorite thing about SkinsMonkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. And if you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description. Thank you, SkinsMonkey, for sponsoring this video. So now we have your opper. Now, as the opper, there's a lot of options on Dust 2 because you really want to go towards where your spawn is taking you. So the first spawn that you have is obviously the long spawn, where you can run up towards long, have someone throw some flashes for you, and then you can take this corner peek. But one thing that I do want to note is I see a lot of newbies stay around this position too long. Since Dust 2 is a very long map with a lot of long spaces, like over here towards long, over here towards cat and mid, you can take a lot of good lines. So you want to make sure that you're not overstaying. So once you guys have long, as the opper, you want to make sure that you're moving. So after this is where you want to pretty much coordinate with your A rotator on, you know, maybe you guys want to go fight for cat, where you decide to come up towards cat, or maybe you want to come back over here towards mid and take a nice mid line. This is just what you would do from taking your A spawn. Now, if you have the second spawn, the best thing that you can do is throw long nades, and the long nades that I recommend is throwing a door smoke by aiming right here. Then you're going to come over here and flash. The first flash you want to throw is the one right above this little medic sign. This is going to flash anyone trying to peek from door. You want to hold flashes at this shadow. This is going to be your second flash, and then you would have a third one that you can throw if they do go out long. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where your teammates would sit here, they would wait to see if they are out long, call that third flash, and then be able to swing and team play together. Now, after you do throw these flashes, there's a few things that you can do. You can either stay over here towards game helper, where you're just holding this cat run up, where you're constantly just shooting, taking different angles, or what you can do is, like I talked about earlier, come over here towards cat or back to mid. Now, another start you have is over here towards mid, where you can come and try to kill anyone towards suicide that may be killing anyone on the cross. And something that is very important to note is that your B and your mid player that are crossing, they want to try to spot what side this opper is on. So they want to calm if he's boosted on the right, or maybe he's boosted on the left. So then when you're peeking, you don't really like overextend trying to search for him. You know exactly where he is and you're able to peek. Now, if you have the second spawn here, something else that you could do is obviously go over here and post towards B. This is very common to do, but most of the time your main opper isn't going to be opping towards B a lot of the times, unless it's a very recognizable pattern for you to come over here in this area. But something that is very OP that you guys could do is if you get this lower spawn, you guys can come over here towards the lower. You can run through the mid door and then just try to get a kill on anyone defaulting. If you guys hold this angle right here, you're going to kill anyone on this back wall that's trying to clear you, or you could even come over here and just hide behind Xbox and just hold for this lower guy. These are really good setups that you can run. If you do decide to go cat, you can also do the boost as well, but a lot of people don't really do this that often anymore that I see. But if you do want to get aggressive, taking your spawn for lower is probably the best option for you. So next we have the mid player. Now if you're playing off spawns, the mid player is going to be the second to last or the middle spawn, depending on where your opper has spawned inside of the buy area. But the most important thing about the mid player is just spotting any information towards mid, because a lot of T's love to do this new thing where they jump down suicide and they throw this nade to almost cover them to pretty much get fast down mid. This is something that we want to spot early and also make sure that it's not happening in the round, because then it's going to alert our players taking long that either they're about to pop out mid on me and I need to rotate, or you guys need to start looking cat. So when you are jumping across and you're not looking for the opper, you want to be looking for this nade. Now something else you want to look for is the mid door smoke or the Xbox smoke, and these are two very different smokes, because if T's want to smoke Xbox, it's going to block anyone boosted on cat. So this is going to prompt you to think that they are going to be taking lower, and they don't want to waste utility on trying to flash off an opper that may be boosted here or anyone playing aggressive towards cat. Now if you see the mid door smoke, this is where it gets a little iffy, where you don't really know what's happening in the round. You just know that they want to block mid. Now a couple plays that you can do as a mid player is to kind of play close over here towards mid, but the only time you want to be doing this is when you have a rotate to help you, because your main goal as the mid player is not only to spot information for what's going on in mid, but is to support B. Most of the time you're not even going to ever have an HE grenade, because you could also drop it in spawn, but you're going to be needing 2 flashes. And the reason is, if for some reason we think it's going to be B, I want to start to cheat over and be able to help my B player and support him. Or maybe we do some sort of setup where he's jump spotting mid and I'm tuck car, or maybe he's just solo back plat and the B hit starts and I can just throw flashes over for him and then fight this cross with him. Even though your name is a mid player, more realistically is you're just the B support player. Now there is times, this is where your flashes also come into play, if you have to rotate to help over towards A, because if your teammates have long, you can throw flashes into this window right here and scale up with them, and this will also help your teammates over here towards long take these fights, because this flash is going to be blinding anyone on site since it lands in the window. So the mid player is more of a heavy support player and more of a B rotator than an A player. But most importantly, you just want to make sure that you're not really overextending yourself to playing close mid. You're just looking for information and trying to use your utility for later in the round to either retake A or help support your B player if they decide to execute. So now we have the spot that nobody ever wants to play, and that is the B anchor. Now the B anchor is a pretty easy position where on some of the rounds you want to start with a smoke or a molly towards tons, and most of the time on a buy round is when you would want to molly, because you're not going to be really expecting a rush on a buy round. Sometimes if you can recognize a pattern, it is good to opt in for a smoke, but when you know that they are on pistols or you are expecting a buy, you want to make sure that when you're coming up to B, you want to smoke it. And the reason you want to do this is because you can come and play in front of the smoke like this. So if you know a rush is coming, they are going to be throwing flashes that are landing over on this side. The flashes are going to be landing way above this building, and you're pretty much anti to all the flashes, and you can just sit here and spam these guys coming out of the smoke, and they won't even really be able to shoot back because they'll be so clumped together just running through a smoke not knowing where you are. It's very important that you guys differentiate between the Molotov and the smoke depending on the economy, or if you think they're going to rush or not. Now as a B player, there's a few ways that you can play this position, and it's very easy. I've seen Mezzy on Vitality do this a lot on pistol rounds specifically, but you can do it on buy rounds where he likes to use this barrel and just go up and down where his head changes elevation, which makes him really hard to hit. And if he does spot someone, he could get a kill and then fall, play behind this double stack, and then his mid player could start to flash for him where he could fight. Playing back plat is never really a good position, because if you don't have anyone to rotate, this is a tough spot to play. But one of the best things you can do towards B is just sit here and just jiggle with your smoke out. If you do spot someone, you can always nade off the wall, or if you think they are going to rush, you can always drop your smoke or your molly, whichever you have out. But you just want to make sure, most importantly, that you're able to spot a deep line inside of tons, because if you're allowing them to walk all the way up here and get all this space and line up then explode, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. So you want to make sure you always have some sort of deep line sight where either it's maybe here and then occasionally you're just jumping up to check, or if you do decide to just jiggle behind the big box and then you have your mid player flash for you, that's what's really important. So as long as you're playing cover positions where you can see this deep line, have your mid player able to flash over for you, you should be definitely solid on the B site.
Pretty good, yeah. Really good video. I do have another one we can watch. Let's see. Before I do that, let's just like the stream,
Why
boys.
is this guy so much better?
Like the stream. And subscribe. Let's go. Okay, we have the little things Dunk does that you don't in CS2. Alright. Let's go.
Better at CS2 than this guy and this guy. You could state the obvious: aim, crosshair placement, maybe the fact that he has 13,000 hours in the game despite being 17 years old. But I want to focus on the little things, the details we can pick up and steal from him. To do this, we're not going to watch one of his professional matches, but instead, a random Face-It game he dominated last week. Before we jump in, thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. SkinsMonkey is a trusted automated CS subscription. I want to start by saying that if you watch pro players Face-It games, you will not be flabbergasted by their util lineups. They mostly throw like pretty standard utility. The biggest difference really is their ability to throw utility that has impact. Here are some examples. Donk gets his teammate to drop him a nade and double nade stairs. He also does this as the mid-rotate player, which allows the A player to get into A main early.
I forgot to mention, shout out to Wilson CS2. I've been following him. I've already subscribed to him, and his videos have helped me improve a lot in this game, especially the Mirage, how to play Mirage video. Like it was a 15-minute video, and it taught me a lot. So shout out to Wilson CS2.
Here, when they're taking B, Donk peeks Temple to make sure no one is scaled out, then throws the molly safely so that he can prevent getting timinged by a CT swinging Temple. There's also the fact that Donk is worried about this E-box flank from the A player, so by smoking his own molly Temple that quickly, it leaves zero gaps for the CTs to make a play from Temple, and it gives Donk a timing where he can go E-box with his teammate and clear canals. On this B rush, he throws a stupid simple molly to prevent CTs from playing towards pillar or close right as they push B main. I think in the end, a lot of players really overthink their util usage, when really it's just the basic pieces of util often have by far the most impact. And that's really what I came away with from not only watching Donk but other pro players and their pugs, is that their util is simple but effective. Let's talk about maybe the most talked about aspect of Donk's game, his movement. Here on middle, Donk is alone but wants to prevent the T's from taking space. This first kill is simply an I'm better than you moment where Donk's raw aim does its thing. Expecting the second mid player, Donk then ducks behind the doors so that he can swing out and kill the second one. He wins the second fight by 1, anticipating the second player to go for the trade, and 2, not making himself easily tradable through his movement. Later on in this round, Donk and his teammate have set up a little contact play, where if number 5 takes contact, Donk will activate and guarantee the trade. Instead, Donk says, "I'm just better," and swings it. Because Donk is right up against this wall in front of him, he's going to swing with full speed rather than a shift walk or a crouch walk peek. When you are close to walls, it's better to swing fast because the slower you are, the more your opponent can see your body before you can see them. Those two clips were really about peeking, but what about his movement during fights? This is kind of a topic that isn't talked about all that much because fights don't typically last very long, but Donk makes them last long through his movement. Donk utilizes crouching and strafing more during fights than probably any other player I've seen. For example, let's look at the first kill of this B retake. Watch what he does the second he sees this T and takes contact. Alright, I'll play it one more time. So he wide swings the angle, and then the second he sees a T, he immediately crouches and starts walking in the opposite direction of his original swing. Immediately upon seeing this, I jumped into DM and then tried to do this on like every fight I took, and the success rate is kind of insane for close and medium range fights. Long range fights, not so much, because you're crouch walking, your accuracy is pretty poor, but close, medium range fights, insane. Donk just does not stop moving. Whether it be during a fight, during a spray, or just around a piece of cover, He is constantly moving and making the fight very ambiguous, very difficult for his opponents. Now look at how he moves during this spray. For this first kill, Donk's wide back and forth movement doesn't allow the CT to properly pre-aim him or know exactly where around this pillar he's going to take the fight. And I don't even have words for the second one. Within 21 bullets of his MAC-10 spray, Donk strafes right, left, and crouches and uncrouches twice. One thing Donk does that you should absolutely be doing is making use of your spawns. On CT's side, Donk was freed up to do this because he was playing as the mid-rotate, so he had the freedom to really go wherever he wanted to on the map at the beginning of the round. But on T side here, he gets a really good spawn for E-box, so he's going to use that to take space quickly. Peep the movement. The CT flashes canals and peeks it, but doesn't see Donk because Donk is in such an advanced position that the CT isn't expecting him to be. So when he throws this molly and peeks with it, the CT isn't ready for this fight. Here on CT, Donk is given a really good spawn for B, so he's going to make use of it. Once he gets up towards Pizza, and this is the segue to the next thing I want to talk about, very smooth, I know, I want you to notice how reactive he is to the sound of this T. This is kind of a weird topic to approach because it's like, oh yeah, you hear a sound and you make a decision, obviously. But I want to, really stress to you how reactive and decisive these players are to sound cues. When Donk hears one pair of feet approach B main, he knows he has a 1v1 and he knows he's in a position where that T is probably not expecting him to be. So his instant reaction, no hesitation, is to swing him and kill him. Remember this E-box clip from like a minute ago? Watch what he does after he takes this awkward fight with the pizza guy through the smoke. He hears the pizza player cross from pizza towards default and then reload, which tells Donk that he has a major opportunity to take some space where he's max going to have a 1v1 fight on site. If you still don't fully get what I mean, here's a third clip where there are actually two really prime examples of how sound influences the way he plays a situation. The information that Donk has as he's approaching mid is that one is an A main, and then he figures out that one is top mid because he just smoked house. After Donk hears this mid player drop towards E-box, immediately without hesitation, Donk whips his knife out because he knows exactly what he's going to do. Now for the second kill, pay attention to the footsteps you hear from the T. Recognizing the sound of those footsteps against a wood surface, Donk pre-aims the only place that the T can be, and yes, the crosshair is just slightly off of the T, but regardless, it gives him this kill very easily. Being excellent at Counter-Strike isn't done by being good at one or two things. It's the culmination of a ton of details. And the more you pay attention to these details, the more you will realize how much there is to learn about this game. To Donk, this is just a random FACEIT game he played last week. But for us, this is details in action. Let me know if you'd like another one of these videos for different
Pretty good, right? Alright boys, I think I need to go and freshen up. I'll be back in what, like 30 minutes or an hour. Till then I go AFK on you guys. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe, boys, please.